Hey everyone. All right, hang on. Let me go to the other side here. It's going to take me a second. I hope everyone's having a nice holiday weekend. So we get some light in here too because this little camera really likes light. So what I've done is removed an incredible amount of wiring, absolutely unnecessary wiring in the limo. And what you're seeing is I'm actually sitting in the driver's compartment area. And where this is the passenger's compartment area. I peeled back the carpet in order to get a bunch of this wiring out. And I'm also going to show you how I'm going to clean up this wiring. Now, remember I told you they ran the door poppers, the doors right there, obviously, and the door poppers in there. Wiring comes through the door, through the door, through the A-pillar into the cabin area here. And they ran both hot and ground all the way to the back. And not only did they do that, they ran it with 10 gauge wire. It's like incredibly thick and entirely unnecessary because the car is a ground. So the whole chassis on the car is a ground. If you hit bare metal, you're going to hit ground. So you don't need to run a ground wire 20 feet all the way to the back of the car. It's a waste of wire. It's a waste of time. And for this case, there are cases where you will need to do that, but those are so few and far between. That's when you start getting into wiring in parallel and doing all sorts of weirdo custom wiring. The other thing I removed was a bunch of the speaker wire that was in the door because we're obviously going to be doing Bluetooth speakers in these doors. So the only thing we'll need is power, which we have, which is great. So, and we have access to tons of power here at the front of the car. There's a power strip and a ground strip, and there's an ignition on strip up behind the dash. I've spent hours laying here with my head up underneath the dash. The wiring in this is an absolute horror show. They went through with this with like a Sawzall and just cut. And then when the car turned off, they're like, stop, hook that one back up. And then they went back to cutting again. It was terrible. But managed to get everything working correctly and going. And then since we're cleaning up all the wiring in the back, we have the new power distribution center and all of that stuff. We're going to clean up the rest of the wiring. So today I spent a bunch of time underneath the hot tub, untaping wires, pulling the ground wire out on both sides, both on the driver's side and on the passenger side. So I wanted to show you where I'm grounding to, just so you guys know. Now, when you're grounding something, again, you're working with 12 volts. It's very low voltage, very low amperage, so you don't need to stress too much about it. But when you run a ground, you want to run the shortest ground possible to your main ground. Now, in this case, it's the car, it's the chassis. That's your ground. My fear, or not my thought, or not my fear, my thought is that they didn't believe it was a strong enough ground all the way to the back because the frame had been extended, et cetera, et cetera. But it actually is. Those welds are professionally done by Cadillac. That's, all that stuff is good. You don't have to worry about conductivity or anything like that. So if you ground up here, it's going to be a ground back there. That's just how it is. So I'm going to hop in here. I brought some tools over. I'm going to show you guys what I have up underneath here. I'm going to bring the camera down in just in a minute. I have a battery isolator here. So that's another one of the wires. I didn't pull it through, but I'll show you guys the battery isolator cable, the battery cable that runs all the way to the back. And I'll show you the battery isolator. Now, what the battery isolator does is lets you have 2 batteries or 3 or 4, however many you want. And it will charge them in order. So from A to B, B to C, etc. It'll charge them accordingly. and it'll pull power accordingly. So it'll pull power from A. If A doesn't have power, it'll pull power from B. It's kind of cool. They're very simple. They're not very expensive. This one, I have two of them. I have one on each side. So this one is the black one, and then I have the blue one for the other side. I don't know why they shipped me a blue one, but I don't really care because they're up under the dash and it helps with differentiating them. So the one on this side is black and it's about 80 bucks. Um, it has an emergency breaker. It also has a bypass switch. So when you know you have one dead battery, you can actually just run it before the isolator takes over. So it's kind of cool. There's old school ones that are automatic as well, and those work just fine. And they're a lot cheaper. They're 30 bucks or so. But this one is nice. It's digital. I can look under the dash after I take. Here's the this is the cover plate for the side panel here. You'll get to see it in a second. Um, but yeah, I brought some tools down. The zoomer, I need to get a wrench for that guy. I'll grab it on my next round. I got the crimper. I have my wire stripper. I have a little piece of heat shrink, and I've picked out a eyelet for doing this. So I'm going to bring the camera down. I'm going to try and set you guys up somewhere around here so that you can see up in there what I'm doing, because the battery isolator is actually up in here. And I'm just using one of the mounting screws for the battery isolator as a ground, because the battery isolator is actually using one of the other mounting screws as a ground, and it works great. So give me a minute to get the camera set up and hop over to the other side, and I'll show you guys all the wiring and stuff up here. You'll be amazed at what's actually in here. It's pretty stunning. And also, this floor couldn't be less flat. It has more bumps and dips and pokey things in it than you can absolutely imagine. It's incredible. It is not comfortable to sit on or kneel on or lay on or anything. So they do not make this easy for you. So give me a second to, I got to hop over to that side in order to grab the camera. I want to make sure audio is going. Oh, these mics. Okay, audio is working. Let's see, who just hopped on here? Hey, Liz. All right, so give me a second to go to the other side of the car. What do we got here with an extension? We're not doing, not holding the big block together. So let me see how to get this camera into a nice position for you guys, because I don't have a ton of cable here. So let me see if I can do it here. Audio and video, great, thank you. Okay. So if you guys are resting up there, I'm gonna see. I do have a little tripod for this guy. Hang on. That might work for this. We'll see. So camera's gonna shake for a second. I take it off this mount. Put it on this mount. And then try and get you guys over here. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's incredibly unstable. All right. Hang on. Oh my God. You can't rest your feet anywhere. So I know this is like a super wide angle here. And the cable for the camera keeps pulling it back. So because all this stuff is super smooth. So you know what I can do? Hang on a sec. I'm just going to set you guys there for a second. Let me grab this. Then we add some friction. There we go. Oh my gosh. It sucks being 6'1", almost 190 pounds, and trying to get in here. Yeah, this thing just wants to tilt and fall over. So I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying. Where's my notch? So something like that. Maybe. Is that working for you guys? Is that okay? All right. So I'm really going to try and do all of this stuff without bumping into you guys. And I apologize for the image quality. Let me try this. Hang on. Is that's a little bit better. At least you can see all the stuff up here. So I'm going to try and do this without my head being in the way, which is also going to be difficult. So here's my ground wire for the poppers. And we're going to strip this and put the heat shrink on and this connector. And then you can see the screws here for, now this sucks because I can't see you guys. So I can't see what I'm pointing at for you guys. So there's one, and then there's the other, and we're going to attach to this guy. So we come in here and strip off a solid amount. Give him a little twist before we pull the thing off. All this has to get vacuumed out. This is actually just black AstroTurf, if you're wondering about the carpet. There is zero special about that carpet. You can get it at any home supply store. We're going to use our crimpers. And because I'm in the dark here, can't remember which side goes in. I think it was this way. Can't take pressure off or else you'll reposition it. I think it was this way. If it's not, and that guy has to come around this side, and he's going to go right there, which means this has to get 180. Oh, yeah, see? Just lost him. But you can't start the crimp too early. And I'm sorry, you guys, I need the extra light. Oh, okay, there we go. A little bit extra out of the other side. Good crimp. There we go. And he releases. Nice. So we have a solid crimp on there now with our eyelet. Now the fun part is going to be doing the heat shrink. We'll try and hold him level, sort of level, so he stays put. And I have my left ass cheek balancing on the edge of the frame here. I'm going to use low speed, low heat, so he doesn't blow it around. And so he starts to grip Once he grips, then I can go to high speed, high heat. There he goes. There we go. And of course, I got the label on backwards, but that's all right. Again, this isn't something that we're going to see all the time. It's not part of our pretty wiring. And we're done with our crimpers, done with our wire strippers. And hopefully you guys can still see this. There we go. So I'm going to have to lay down here and kind of put my feet up. But this is the bolt we want to get to. Okay. And then we want to run our new ground, new shorter ground with our very hot heat shrink up to that. You just came out of there. You got to go back in there. Okay, there you go. That is the problem with self-tappers. Sometimes they want to re-self-tap when you put them back in. So, okay. Look at that. Nice solid ground. And the camera just fell over. Of course. Sorry. Hang on, you guys. Not only did the camera fall over, so did I. All right. All right, hang on. Sorry. This tripod is a joke. Oh, wow. It really is a joke. Okay. So, I'll just bring you guys in and you can see everything. There is the isolator. And here you can see our, I have to look back 180 degrees. This is our main battery cable, our positive cable that's going to go, it actually runs all the way to the back of the car. So we're going to reuse that. Even though it's black, I would prefer for it to be red, but it's going to be black. And you can see our new ground over here, right there. So now our door popper comes right out of the door. You can see it coming right out of the door right there, and the ground comes right up to that. There is absolutely no reason for that ground to be 20 plus feet. None. So I'm going to take you guys, I'm going to put you back on the stand and show you the rest of the electronics fun, all the electronics fun that I had today. So yeah, why would this stay put? That's crazy talk. It was fine yesterday. Okay, so we are done under here. I'm gonna grab my tools out of here. And then this stuff, carpet just goes back up in place, and then that shield just goes back there. Trying not to step on stuff. I'm just gonna set the tools to the side. And grab the laptop. And the camera's gonna launch, so I gotta grab the camera with it. You guys should see this balancing act. It's pretty impressive, actually. So at least I'm impressed by my own shit. I guess that's good, right? So come back over here. And oh, that was That was cool, right? I can't now. Yeah, nice. Actually, that's my abs, but at that angle, it looks kind of funny. It's like, hey, when are you due? Okay, I'm actually not due. I mean, I got maybe 3 pounds I could work on, maybe 4, but damn. Looking like my friend Nikki there. I was like, hey, when's the baby due? Oh, at the zoo. The baby panda. All right. Speaking of baby pandas, this. Now this sucks because I don't have the remote for the. Hang on. All right. This is why you have a cam op, because then the cam op can do the cool stuff like this. And when you point stuff out, he can be like, oh, yeah, there it is, exactly like he was talking about. So this is about 95% of the wiring that I removed from the car. This is entirely unnecessary. Now, the speaker wire, we're not really going to count because we're doing a different speaker system, but it still counts as what I took out today. So all of this stuff. This is an old battery connector that was running over to that old PDC. And this is all of the door popper stuff. All of this crap. It's probably $50 in wire that is entirely unnecessary. So the one other thing I did, and I'll show you guys, let me see if I can do it from this side. Yep. This is our main power cable that comes from up front. We have a label on it now. Some heat shrink won't let that label come off. I might do some clear heat shrink over this. The labels aren't totally sticking to the ancient cable. This is still very good cable and it's very expensive. So we're going to hang on to that. Got rid of all of this. This is probably 3 to 4 pounds of wire. Absolutely unnecessary in there. So all this stuff is gone. I'm going to hang on to this loop of speaker wire just because sometimes you can use speaker wire for other stuff, like speakers. But the rest of this, some of it will get saved as spare, whatever doesn't have, chunks or bends or whatever, rips and tears in the shielding. This is pretty much done. There is a nice chunk of cable in here that we might use, but it's all pretty much done. So set this to the side and sort it out later. And that's it. Trunk's not perfectly clean, but we don't have a ton of wires running around all of. That's the wire for the gas gauge, for the fuel sending unit. And that's a test wire, so it probably won't be there. It will be elsewhere. That's just a test wire, ignore it. So I'll show you the other wires that we have here. This is the wire for the air compressor and all the stuff for the air ride system. And this is our test wire for the PDC, or for the fuel sending unit. We only have the one terminal. He's unhooked. We have the battery maintainer on just to charge it up. And then on this side, of course, this is too short, right? And I'll bring you guys down a little bit so it's a little easier to see. On this side, we have, I wrap this up so it wouldn't get cold. We have our 2 wires, driver and passenger, for our door poppers, which will go to the PDC, which is mounted here. We have our power for the license plate. We have our alternate power and our ground for the license plate. That's it. That's it. This is actually keyed power. This is our full-time power and full-time ground. So, um, yeah, that's it for wiring back here. So we got rid of all of that crap that was back there, all the stuff that was loose. Everything is gone now, and it's down to 2 wires right here. They'll get loom on it. Any kind of sharp angle or anything will get loom on it. And then the 2 other wires down here. That's it. We're done. We're done with all the wiring. All that crap that they had in here before was entirely unnecessary. Even for everything that they were doing, it wasn't necessary. The only one they needed was, actually, they didn't need that. They needed the one big wire to charge the battery, but they didn't have a battery isolator. I don't remember how they were doing it. I think they were running 2 batteries off of 1 alternator and without an isolator, which is not a good idea. But again, these guys in Good Ideas they didn't go to dinner very often. So let me bring the camera out. That'll kind of wrap it up for tonight. A lot of progress, digging in underneath the car is always fun. I want to sound sarcastic when I say that, but I'm actually not. So yeah, where did the remote go? We can zoom out now. There we go. That's a little better. So our wiring has been cleaned up, and the car is going to operate a lot smoother now. And we're going to have good points to find ground instead of having to fumble around at the back with the PVC. We actually know exactly where the ground is. It's going to be very close to whatever component it's grounding. That also helps when you're trying to repair stuff or check stuff out. Just having the ground right next to the component, trust me, it's a good thing. You're trying to fish around and find grounds, it sucks. So having it close to the component is a good thing. And let me go up a little bit there. So that's kind of it for tonight. Like I said, all the wiring in the trunk got super cleaned up, which is nice. And a lot of the wiring up at the front got cleaned up. We took out, a lot of that garbage. Like I said, there's probably 3 pounds of wire there. And I know 3 pounds doesn't sound like much, but when you're in a car that's going to be close to 8,000 pounds, I'll take 3 pounds all day long. Absolutely take 3 pounds all day long. So next up, we have that access door cut. And what does it say? Looking better every day. Oh, thanks. So that access door cut, now it was funny. I talked to a friend of mine. Was it today or yesterday? I think it was today. No, it was yesterday. That's why I didn't do it yesterday. I talked to, hang on, I'm getting rid of this. There we go. Buddy of mine who's a federal attorney, and I told him what I was doing in the limo and that I was cutting this access door and I was live streaming it. And he's like, please don't. And I was like, what? And he goes, if someone sees that and then goes to do it themselves, they can cite you and you can get in trouble for instilling confidence and whatever in them, and they catch on fire and run down the street, and then their family sues you because you showed them that it was okay. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what, you're right. This isn't the very, super safe and ultra smart thing to do. Normally I do preach safety with you guys, and I try to make everything as safe as possible. This one is kind of sketchy, and it's not something I want people to do. So I'm going to heed his suggestion, but I'm still going to show you guys. I just need to do it a little bit different. So there's going to be a two-part thing. One that shows what I'm going to do, and then one that's going to show after it's completed. So I won't actually show you guys the cutting, that part. It's going to be, hey, I want to do this, and then, hey, I did this. So I apologize that there won't be that, but just to cover my ass and to hopefully, you know, people will be smart about it and not do it, I'm going to do that. Last thing I need is any kind of legal battle with anybody about anything. So just going to be safe about it. And also, I don't think you guys are going to miss out on listening to the Dremel, for an hour as I, do incredibly precise cuts. But as you can see, I do have it marked out. And that pie tin pizza baking tray thing worked out great. It actually came out as a multi-radius. So around the front, it's really tight, and then it gets wider, a little wider radius to meet the straight lines on the outside. It's gonna hopefully look really well once all the trim, the rubber trim and stuff goes back in there. Should look pretty good, but you never know. So I'm gonna do that in two parts. I'll do that tomorrow, and I also, like I said, I want to do it when there's sunlight, just so I can, rip the garage door up and roll this thing outside if it's on fire. And I'd prefer to do it outside, but my driveway is pretty steep and I don't really want to be hunched over and falling over the entire time. So we're going to do it here. Things get weird. We got fire extinguishers. We'll, we'll push it outside and hopefully get that taken care of. So that's about it for tonight. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm glad you're enjoying this. This is definitely a project, and this is something, I work on it when I get a chance. I'm not getting paid a dime to do this. So I do this when I can. I get to you guys when I can, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. It makes me feel good. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, I really appreciate those. I've gotten a few comments from people. Hey man, can't wait to see it when it's done. The guy sent me a message. Hey man, does the hot tub work yet? So for that guy, I got something for you. Does the hot tub work yet? Now, if we were good, we could cheat a little bit. And instead of putting the Coleman in, we could hook this guy up really quick. All he needs is a power cord, which I have, and we could just, it's not going to heat any water, but it'll definitely swirl water around. So we'll see. Yeah, that's a maybe. We'll see. I'd really like to have the water heated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, oh, that's one other thing, and I've talked to you guys about this before. So regarding heating the water for the tub with the tank that's going to go in here, the heat, we have two options. Now with the Coleman, it has a little heater built into it, but it's not very stout. It'll take about between 12 and 14 hours to heat that hot tub to 104. That's a little too long. So there's a different way to do that. Now the limos came with front and rear heat and AC. So there are actually heater lines that run from the water pump in the engine. And I'll show those to you guys right here. If this thing will come off and play nice. All right, come off here. And that's a bad way to go. That is a better way to go. Okay, so let me grab the light and I'll show you guys those lines. So, I need my pointer or to get in the trunk. All right, I'm just gonna hop in the trunk for you guys. That's how big this trunk is. Here are our heater lines. So we have our heater core lines. These are the old ones. And these go down and they go through the frame of the car all the way up to the engine compartment. They come out in the engine compartment. So we already have lines. Obviously, these will get replaced. We'll hook up new lines and pull the new line through. Now, what we can do is back here where the tank is going to sit is we can run copper tubing. All right, hang on. I can't balance on one. It's not even bouncing on one knee, balancing on like one calf. All right. So we can run copper tubing all throughout this whole area here underneath the aluminum tank. That copper tubing will heat the aluminum water, the water in the aluminum tank gets warm, it gets cycled back out to the hot tub. Not bad, right? All the coolant goes right back to the car. The bonus is the car runs cooler too, because we're running more coolant and we're dissipating some of that heat with the coolant. I'm trying to get you guys back over here to a normal spot where the camera should be. Sorry. This is really difficult. So that's going to be the other fun part, is using those coolant lines and using the coolant from the engine to heat the hot tub. There'll also be a bypass on there so that the coolant will just go right back to the engine versus heating the water, because in Florida in July you don't need hot, you just need water circulating. So sometimes you don't want hot water, you just want regular water. But we'll have a bypass in there where you'll have to reach in behind the passenger seat, turn the bypass, the coolant will go right back to the engine. It won't even come up to here. So that'll be incorporated as well. That's one of those little trick things that we got to figure out how to do. Actually, it would probably be easier to do it back here. Just pop the trunk and hit the bypass, because we'll have the lines exposed here and not up there. So yeah, we'll probably do it in the trunk in the corner, back underneath here, back behind this. And that'll be a little bit easier. God, see how heavy these mics are? It's trying to pull my shirt down, and I pull my shirt back up and it just keeps pulling the thing back down. I mean, it's even pulling now. It's like, damn. I mean, they're not that heavy, just heavy enough to pull the shirt. So we do have a plan for cooling, or for heating the water, and for keeping it cool as well. So not too bad. But yeah, that's it. We'll do more. Like I said, tomorrow it'll be a two-parter with cutting that access hole, and I'll do the pre and the post, and hopefully you guys you'll join me for that. And thanks to all the new subscribers. You guys are awesome. I love seeing that. You know, the emails I get from YouTube, hey, you have a new subscriber, or come in here and the subscriber count keeps going up. That's great. I love that. So thank you guys very much for that, and for tolerating my hair. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, don't look at it. Or we'll just make it worse. There we go. There we go. That's better. Now it looks like I got attacked. All right. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for telling folks about the channel and enjoying what I'm doing here. Like I said, I don't get paid a single dime for this. And I can prove that because I keep buying my own Rockstar, like by the case. So, yeah, the folks are liking this, which is cool. Again, it takes a lot of time. I'm doing everything literally by myself. You can see how many other people are here in the shop. Yeah, that's because I do all of this literally by myself. So it takes longer. With two people, it goes 3 times quicker. That's the rule of thumb. So uh, eventually we'll have people when the shop gets built. We'll have people over here all the time, and we'll be doing tons of other projects. But for now, it's just me. So I'm gonna keep cranking on this thing. We're gonna have it. We're gonna have it running very very soon, or it's already running. We're gonna have it out and about in the streets very very soon. So um, thank you guys for coming along the ride. I appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're learning something. And if you are, shoot me a note. I love hearing that. That's my favorite part. Like I said, I don't get paid at all, but when you guys are like, "Hey, that was super cool what you did," or "I love the custom wiring on the relays for the license plate. That was awesome." Whatever. I love those notes from you guys. Those are great. Um, and that's about it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. We'll try and do it in the afternoon so we have decent light and so we don't wake the fire department up if we have to call them. But yeah, we'll get that cut, and then uh, next week I will be in the shop in Ohio, so I'll be doing tons of race car stuff in Ohio next week. We have the MR6 that we've got to get prepped for Road Atlanta. We have the Monza, which we have to get prepped for racing, all racing. It still needs a bunch of stuff. Apparently, it needs a fuel pump now. So we've got a bunch of really cool car stuff coming up in Ohio next week. I'll be there on the 4th. My birthday's the 6th, so probably won't be streaming that night. We might stream from the shop. That could be fun. Just let the stream roll. You guys can say hi to everyone and see everyone who comes in the shop. We'll do like the photo booths they do at weddings, right? Someone can come in, sit down, do like the confessions they do on all those stupid reality shows, right? Um, or the voting room where you go in and I'm voting Bill off the island. Okay, yeah. We'll do something like that. That would be kind of fun. At least do it for an hour or so. You guys can see some of the regulars for the shop in Ohio. And I guess that's about it. We'll have more limo stuff tomorrow, and we'll finish off as much limo stuff as we can this week. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, definitely put them down there. Shoot me a text, shoot me an email. You know how to get in touch with me. I'm pretty easy to find. And don't forget to show someone that you love them. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it is far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. I will catch you. I'll catch you tomorrow afternoon. All right. Have a great night. So much wire. So much wire. Why?